Okay, so welcome back. We are doing question 3 from the Eastern Cape, June 2023. Let's just get started. So the table below shows the estimates on the number of full-time employees per quarter from June 2018 to September 2022. So different years. And if you look at the table here, it says full-time employees. So we're going to find data on full-time employees here per quarter. A quarter is made up of 3 months, and we have 4 quarters in a year. But this one starts from June. So it's going to be June, July, August. So that's there in the table: June, July, August, September, October, November, December, January, February. And then you'll get March, April, May, June, July, August 2018. There, the first quarter, which was in June, as they're giving us here. They said that in June they have 1,134, and I'm like, okay, I never read the details here without reading here. So I know that this is quarters because I've read it, and then I look at that thing. So it's okay. Start over. Full-time employees per quarter from June 2018 to September 2022. Okay, so let's read. When you read the table, you always start here. Always start with what is given at the top, just to get an idea of what's coming next. So I have year here, quarter, number of employees in thousands. See that? 3 zeros. And change in number of employees in thousands. And then percentage change, whether it's percentage increase or percentage decrease, it doesn't matter, but it's the change in percentage. So they took this number and calculated the percentage change. Remember the formula for percentage change? Previous, current minus previous divided by previous, right? So they did that here. Okay, so in the first year, there's 2018 that we're given, and in the first quarter that we're given, they said there's full-time employees 1,134,000 in words. That's 1,134,000. Remember that? Make sure you do that. So next time, it doesn't have to be thousand. It could be 100,000. It could be hundreds. It could be million. It could be 100 million. So make sure you double check what those numbers mean there. And then change in numbers of employees already that we do not have here, because we don't have the previous quarter from June, and then we do not have the result change because we didn't have anything before that, the previous detail, because this one is current. But if you go to the next quarter in September, now we have 1,144,000. And then we have a change. So if you take this one now as current and you say this is a previous quarter, this minus this should give you a change of 7. So the difference is 7,000. It should, but remember, sometimes they round off because this is a summarized version. And then we have percentage change, where we said current minus previous divided by previous times 100, and you get percentage change. Whether it's decrease or increase, it doesn't matter yet. Okay, same applies now with everything else. So this is a percentage. I know it's a percentage because it says the percentage change. All right, so we're going to go, let's just check these ones here. Okay, now that we know how they get the details there, I think we can go ahead and look at this one. So this was change. So if you say this is change, then you say current is this one here, which is 1,039,000, and previous is 1,036,000, right? So you're going to take current minus previous, and then you get A. And then to get B, you say current minus previous divided by previous times 100, and then you get B. Okay. Identify the month and the year that had the lowest number of full-time employees. The month and the year. So we're going to write the month and the year, these two. The answer is going to be somewhere here, and then we're going to write that. But how do we find it? By looking for the lowest number of full-time employees. So there's 3 columns here. We're looking for a number, not a percentage, so it's not this one. And we're not looking for change, we're looking for the full-time, right? Full-time number of employees, right? So with the lowest number, so we don't have to turn them into thousands, because they can see that. But I would suggest that you multiply them out first and then you see them clearly which one is the lowest and highest. But here we can see they are all 4 numbers, no commas. That means we can go ahead. If there were commas and there were numbers that like the 4, 5 numbers and some 4, some 6, we're just going to have to multiply just to see what the numbers actually are. But here they're all 4 numbers, so it's fine. We can go ahead. Lowest, so we're looking for the lowest number. The lowest number here, this one is 134, so that's looks lower than this, no, this one is 109, so that's lower so far. Lower than this one, lower than this one, lower than this one, lower, no, that's March 2020. Since March 2020 is the lowest, then it's 1,097,000. Okay, that's 1,097,000. So they said give the number to the nearest whole million. Okay, so this is 100,000 and this is million. So we're going to look at million because they want us to end there. They don't want any numbers after that. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at the neighbor says remain the same, and then we say what happens to this number, it stays 0. What happens to this number, it becomes 0. Everything else is going to be 0. So that would be our answer, 1 million. So this number is closer to 1 million than it is to 2 million. Then 3.1.3, calculate the percentage change, correct 1 decimal place. Calculate the percentage change, correct 1 decimal place in the number of employees for June 2022, September 2020. June 2020, September 2020. They're saying now calculate the percentage change. Now, if you see there, from June to September, we don't have it. That's the value A. You may use the following formula. We don't usually get this formula, so you need to know it. So I like to call it current value minus old value divided by old value. Current value minus previous value divided by previous value. New value divided by old value thingy. Income minus expenses divided by expenses. Ooh, percentage profit. Okay. So percentage change is equal to new value minus old value divided by old value times 100. I always, never make a mistake. I always, what's going on with my pen? I always copy the formula first. Okay, so I'm right, not percentage change. It's percentage change. Okay, so my percentage change is equal to, what is the new value? Right, so they said between June and 2020 and September. So June is going to be the old one and September is going to be the new one, right? So 1,039 minus 1,036. I don't have to write it in thousands. 1,039 minus 1,036 divided by 1,036 times 100, and that should give us 1039 minus 1036. That difference there is 3 divided by 1036 times 100. And then I'm just checking there because they didn't ask A, they just went straight for B. Okay. And A then is 3. Okay, because it's the change, it's not the percentage. So that's previous minus current minus previous will give you the change. So A is 3. But we calculated the percentage of A, so we got that. And then we're going to say 3 divided by 1036 times 100. And that's 0.28 0.289575 289%. right? That's the answer of the calculator. Now it says here, let's come back here. It says to 1 decimal place. So let's round off to 1. 1 decimal is here, neighbor is there, and therefore 0.3, right? So 1 decimal. Don't forget the percentage. Give one reason why the number of full-time employees decline in any industry. So why do the number of full-time employees decline in any industry? Well, basically they're asking, why are people leaving their jobs? Well, one of them is retrenchment. So when businesses trying to save money, because remember the bottom line for a business is profit. So in order to keep their profits up, they might cut down on employees. It is one of the most expensive resources for the business. And so they retrench people. And then another one would be people looking for greener pastures. So people apply for other jobs, they get other jobs out somewhere, they change careers, they get promoted positions in other jobs, and therefore they leave. Some people could be I think that's the majority of them actually. And the economy is bad, you got to double down. Give the reason why. 3.1.4, write down the model value from March 2020 to September 2022 for the number of full-time employees. From March 2020, write down the model value from March 2020 to September 2022. So they're saying we must ignore 2018 and look at here only and look for the model value there. September 2022, from March 2020 to September 2022 for the number of full-time employees. Okay, model value there: 36, 39, 37, 93, 98, 97. I don't see one. Next, last one says, give the reason why other values are written in brackets. Oh, that's because they're negative. That's simple. See, this is percentage decrease, not percentage increase, and therefore you may have to differentiate. In order for someone to be able to tell, you either put a negative number or you put them in brackets. It's the same meaning, negative numbers. 2 samples were used in a research, one from people using smartphones and the other from people using tablets. Study the results in the table below and answer the questions that follow. Okay, so again, I said when you read a table, you look first at the top there and find out what it's saying. So that one says entertainment categories. I know that's what I'm getting here. Smartphones, so it's in percentages. So I'm getting the number of people here, the percentage of people of smartphones, and the percentage of tablets. And then I'm seeing games is 35%, but we're not given the percentage of people playing games on their tablets. And then we have social networking percentage, 29%, and 15% are on their tablets, and so on and so forth, right? And then we have total here, 100%. Well, that's obvious. They added all of that, and it adds up to 100%. You can check it just to make sure, because you don't want to lose any marks. So if they add everything there and get 100%, that means C is 100 minus everything else, right? Okay, now questions. Calculate the value of C. Well, we've already answered C. It's simple. You say 100 minus 15 minus 3 minus 13 minus 4 minus 8, and we get 57% are on the games on the tablet. So that's 3.2.1. 56%. Disclaimer: none of this should be used as memorandums, especially to mark learners. That would be a disaster. Let's continue. On answer sheet 1, an incomplete graph for the smartphones and tablets are drawn. Complete the graph by drawing the missing columns. Ooh, my graph is attached and I don't really want to take it off. Okay, let's do this graph. This is a side double bar graph, right? It's just sideways. Okay, we've got other, which is 5%. We've got news. Let's check it. Other 5%. The dark one is smartphones. Have you seen that? Okay. Your graph, you need to check the topic of the graph always, whenever you get graphs, always check the topic of the graph. That way you know what they write there. See, they said entertainment categories on smartphones and tablets. So next time they might give you a graph with that thing, you know, you use the information from there, right? Use the information from there to give your your graph a heading. And then these ones are social smartphones. This is actually like this. You see how usually it's like this, and then you get the numbers there and you get the names here of our thing, and then we have the bar graph like this. But this one is drawn sideways. You know, it doesn't make any difference. It's lying down. Okay, so if we just check, I just want to check the other 5% in double. Okay, smartphones, 5% there. So we have all these ones which for smartphones, we just have to complete the other one. So we don't have other, and we don't have main music. We don't have utilities for smartphones, and here also we don't have games for this one here, which is tablets. So they want us to complete that. I'm just going to do it roughly because I don't want to mess up this question paper. Okay, so let's start with the smartphones and check 3529. It's there, 3529, and utilities is 20. So 20 is right on the mark here. And now I can draw my double bar graph by saying, see, use a ruler if you will want to make it nicer. And then we have our double bar graph here, which is, I can't make it as black as they did. And then I write there, that's because they've already also written, that's 20%, right? So I'm just going to write it at the bottom below. And then we are going to finish off smartphones first. And we have, what else did I didn't do? This one is no, this one no. So that was the only missing one there for we're done with smartphones. I think that now they're complete. So we're going to complete the other one. We're going to start with whichever we want. We can start with other. Other is 8% here. So 5, 8, that's 10. So 2, 4, 6, 8. Also 8 is right here. And therefore we have our, okay, maybe I should draw it to the side because it's the gray one. So I'm going to put it like that, just so they know it's the gray one, or I don't shade it at all. And then we have music and videos. There it is, 13. Okay, 13 is right here. So that's 10, 12, 14. 13 will be in the middle. Let me just make sure. Take a ruler and mark it out. Yeah, and then 13 will be somewhere here. So I must end there. And we have our tablet there. And then we go to the last one here, which is games. Games. Okay, games is 57. We said it's 57. We calculated it, remember? We calculated it and we said it's 57 by minusing everything, and we're left with C, and it's 57. So always write it. Forgot to say that. Always, once you've calculated an unknown on the table, always write, because you're going to forget and you're just going to do everything else and be like, oh, done, right? So always write it there on your thingy. If you're afraid of writing on your question paper, right? Because the reason I say it's ridiculous to say don't write on your question papers, there's no time to copy everything. If I had time, I would copy this whole table down so that I can fill in nicely, cancel everything out. Have a pencil, and just whatever the unknown is, they should have written it there. That's their problem that they didn't put it there. Whatever the unknown is, just fill it in with 57%. I find that whenever I don't write the unknown on the table, when I'm calculating things like mean, I forget that I'm supposed to add C there, right? So because I'm very forgetful. So what I do is whatever the unknown I've found, all the unknowns that I've had to calculate, I always put them in. That way, immediately when I look at this table, I know that the unknown is part of this whole table, right? So now I know 57, and I go, see, I already forgot what to do with 57 right now. And then I'm just going to figure out, okay, 57 comes here. So 50, 52, 54, 56, and 57 will be in the middle of 56 and 58. So that's right there. And then we're just going to draw a line. Make sure you use a ruler so that it's nice and neat. And then that will be our bar graph there, and you're done. You get your 4 marks.